today we are going to talk about how to creatively sell your products on Pinterest, because a lot of times we all know people can get very touchy if they think they're being sold to. So you have to kind of get creative. And that's no different for Pinterest, for Facebook Lives, blog posts. Like, you want to give value, right? And so I was once told a sentence that really resonated with me. That was, people don't like being sold to. They like to buy from you. And so if you think about that for a second, it's actually really true. You want to be sold, or you want to buy from family, friends, from people that are industry leaders that you trust, things like that. You don't want to be sold to by them. Like, if you think about those people, I don't feel like you could name a person to me right now that says, like, buy from me, don't worry about any of the logistics or any of the benefits or anything like that, and is just kind of weird with it. Like, the top industry leaders know how to get you to buy from them instead of selling to you. So that's what I want to talk about, because Pinterest can be an amazing way to be able to do that, right? And we want to make sure we're very clear on getting people to buy from us instead of just using the platform to sell to them, or like another marketing platform where we don't really provide them any value, right? So it can be easy for people to just say, I have a product or service and I have this great image. Let me throw it up there, put a link back to the landing page or the sales page where they can purchase from me, and I'm going to get all this traffic and all these sales. And that's actually not really going to work for you. Maybe some people it will work for a little bit, but long-term sales, it's going to drop off if you get anything in the beginning. So I have a couple different tips that we're going to go over to help you understand how to get creative, and the best practices that are currently found now online for Pinterest as the platform. One of the first things that I want to talk to you guys about is how to use the images that will paint your product or service in a positive way, right? And so you want people to feel like on your product, we'll focus on products today specifically, but just know that any of you that have services as well can use this strategy for your services. But today I want to talk specifically for products, right? And so when you're adding any of your products directly to Pinterest or blog posts, website, sales page, online catalogs, like whatever it is, you want to have the most interesting and exciting and engaging images as possible. You want to remember that Pinterest is not an engagement in terms of content, but it is in terms of repinning and sharing, so it can create that kind of spider web effect. And so people can pin content from your products, your website, your web pages, your blog posts, a number of different places online. So you want to make sure that your content always looks the part. And the biggest thing that I want to talk to you guys about are some of the ways to do so, right? So we talk about in the beginning well, first, let's start here. Who has products and who has services? Why don't you let me know? If you have a product-based business, go ahead and give me a shout out for product-based businesses. If you have a service-based business, let me know that as well, because I'd love to, and what it is, because I'd love to be able to use specific examples for you guys. I will pull specific examples for certain businesses that I know as well. So Amy, I know, has a product-based business for essential oils. And so we can use some of that today. And Ruby, that's awesome, product-based business. Mind telling me what products you have so we can go over some of them for you. And Barb, hey, welcome. So glad to have you here with me. Service-based business. Patty has both, which is awesome. You can use both of them, Patty, for the jewelry that you have, and then also for your services. Ruby, Color Street nail strips. Perfect. Okay, so let's go over a few things like this, right? So specifically speaking to Ruby today, and I'll get to a couple other of you guys, but yes, paparazzi jewelry. Perfect. Product DNA nutrition. Awesome. I love it. And paparazzi $5 jewelry. Perfect. Okay, so we'll go over a couple of different things for your guys' businesses specifically, right? Since you guys are here with me live, you get the benefits. So one of the things that we want to focus on is the images, like we're talking about. And so the way you want to create the strategy is you want to make sure that you give somebody the ability to be drawn to your graphic. Now, no, totally cool. It's totally cool, Patty. Don't worry about it at all. We can still give you these strategies, and then this will help you when you get more further down on the line with that too. So the biggest thing that you want to think about is how can you capture multiple different personalities and individualism and their eye-attracting, I guess, attention on one graphic. And that's a lot of times what people struggle with is being able to do that in one image. Pinterest gives us a longer space to be able to do so. Perfect, Barb. Service, online counseling and courses, childhood behaviors. That's perfect, Barb. I actually have someone in the inner circle who does different counseling for childhood behaviors. I have 2 people actually in my inner circle. So we definitely can talk about that as well as a service-based business. The biggest thing we talk about a lot in Pinterest is testing. Like you hear it all the time for other social media platforms, for blogging, for sales pages, for emails even. It's going to be no different for Pinterest as a search engine-based platform, right? Like you need to be able to test. And so we talk about testing and how when you're testing, you want to create a apples to apples way for you to know, like, okay, my pin has the same text on both images, but one is pink and one is blue. Which one's going to do better? You put both of them out there and you kind of figure it out, right? With products, it's going to be a little bit different in how you test, because you can do actually images that have maybe 3, 4, or 5 different products on there that are within the same category, right? So you can do, like if you do essential oils, and maybe you do different oils that help with anxiety. And there can be 3 different oils that can help different people in where they're at right now in their life. And so you can create a graphic that talks about anxiety in the title, but then has the 3 different products on it and maybe a little snippet of their benefits on the side. And that's ultimately drawing attention to 3 different types of people, right? Because you're reaching out to somebody that's like, oh yeah, I've heard maybe lavender, I've heard can be really helpful. Let me click through here to find out more information about this, right? And so maybe we go to Color Street nail strips. There could be 3 different types of nail designs for Mother's Day that you could do. And you could pin to an upcoming holiday for Mother's Day and say, these are my top 3 sellers for Mother's Day because, and don't let's talk about when we put text on here too, right? We'll get to that in a second, but don't sell them on the top 3. I guess that was just kind of something I said live, but let me back up here for a second. Answer why they would want those, right? For Mother's Day. It's spring out. Mothers want to be fashionable. Here is an amazing design to help do that for your mom, where they don't have to worry about paying a ton of money to go to a salon. And here's 3 of my favorite designs for Mother's Day, right? And so that answers a couple different things. That answers Mother's Day, that answers what they should be doing, how to save money, and your top favorites, like all right there in that pin without saying all those words. And then they could click through to see maybe a category of like all the nail designs that you have that are pink, right? And pink's my favorite color, if you didn't know, so that's why I keep relaying back to pink. But so that would be a way to create multiple products in one design image, right? Because then you can attract 3 different types of moms. Maybe there's a mom that doesn't like Pinterest, or maybe there's a mom, I think the cold is getting to my head, you guys. Maybe there's a mom that doesn't like pink, but she likes purple, and you have both of them on that pin. Both of those mothers are going to want to click through that image. So it kind of opens up that audience that you're trying to capture. You still do want to test 2 different types of layouts. So if you are doing jewelry and you give them 3 different things, maybe it's a bracelet and earrings and a ring, right? So you have 3 different things, and you want to put these 3 things on a pin image, right? You are talking to 3 different types of people if you didn't even know it, right? So can you guys tell me what 3 different types of people you think would be hitting if you did earrings, rings, and bracelets, right? Let me know if you can kind of see where I'm going with this. Like even with jewelry, service-based businesses too, you can do the same thing. You have to get creative with it, but you can do the same thing. And so you want to test 2 different layouts. Now, if I'm doing 3 things, I'm talking to mothers who maybe like a full set of jewelry that look the same, or women, I shouldn't say mothers. I'm talking to maybe there are women who only like doing earrings and rings, but you have both that match on the pin image. Or maybe there are people who just like bracelets or just like earrings. I am a fanatic for earrings. I will wear the other ones. Yes, exactly. You've got it, Patty. So you totally understand where I'm going here, because then that opens it up for other people to be able to still engage with your image, right? Now test 2 different layouts, right? So you can do a layout where you have someone cropped and they're showing off all the jewelry. Or maybe you have this flat lay of the jewelry or a flat lay of the essential oils. Maybe you have someone who's actually putting on essential oils. You want to test 2 different layouts of that when doing that. And so that's where the testing comes in for you. You want to include the multiple products on, yes, you are more than welcome, Patty. You want to include multiple products on a pin, but you also want to test 2 different layouts. And then don't forget your text overlay, right? You want it big, you want it bold, you want to help them understand why clicking through is going to be beneficial to them, right? So whether that is answering a question or providing value or whatever it is that you can do in that title on the image, you can elaborate more in the description, obviously, but whatever you can do, you want it to stand out with that as well. The biggest thing with the text overlay, I always tell people, is think about the way to take away pain or provide value in anything you do, right? Take away pain or provide value. When you do that, that instantly engages the audience, and they're ultimately going to want to click through, learn more, read more, watch more, like all the things. That's what they're going to do if you can capture what they're, like, take away a pain point for them, or give them that value, right? So make sure that you're doing that. Another tip that I want to give you guys too is, depending on your brand, your services, right? You don't want to use faces necessarily. This got brought up in a Facebook group, and I didn't get a chance to address it for this individual, but it was a very good discussion in this group. It was not my group, it was somebody else. Totally fine. Welcome, Kelly. So glad that you can make it. So also, you guys, let me just do this. Show notes. This is at any time in my videos. I do put these up with notes so that you can recap what you've learned. So feel free to take care of that right now while I'm going on forward with these other things. It was posted in another group that the client wanted the individual to only use their headshots on their Pinterest images. And unfortunately, I was very concerned about this, and naturally the conversation went this way as well. There was a lot of people that had the concern, and I think there is a way to include faces into Pinterest images, but unfortunately it's not going to get you the best results I've seen in testing, right? And so what you want to make sure that you do is you want to make sure that you include other angles. So we have a done-for-you client that I work on for Pinterest, and it's clothing, and so LuLaRoe clothing. And so one of the things that we do is we focus on, if it is an individual, we will do some shots because clothing is a little bit different, but a lot of the times we will crop where their face is out of it, or just the shirt is in it, or the leggings, or things like that, to make it more appealing to that person. Even when you do a full body shot and then you crop the face off, it gives them a layout of the outfit. So I still do things like that, but be very careful on doing faces, specifically your face or your headshot on those photos, right? You don't always want that. There is a time and a place. So if you are, let's go back and talk to Barb about hers, how she does counseling and childhood behaviors, right? So that would be one where you would be able to, Barb, actually take different stock photos, and maybe it is two children fighting, and the pin is talking specifically to how to address sibling rivalry, right? Like, just pulling this out of the air here. I'm not sure if that's something you specifically talk about, but for that purpose, that would work, right? Because it's giving the perception and engaging someone who's like, oh my gosh, my kids are going through this right now. Those look like my kids. I can relate to those kids, that kind of thing. You can use that. That will be beneficial to you. I want to urge you, though, to get creative. Maybe it's the backside of a kid throwing a toy, and then your title talks about how it's sibling rivalry. Or maybe you take a stock photo of trophies, and one is a participation and one is a first place, and sibling rivalry that way. Like, Barb, right here for you. I have children that are 9 years apart and still find a way to fight with each other. Like a 2-year-old and an 11-year-old, and I just don't get it. But it's totally cool. They do really well together. Every once in a while, though, that's what happens. So yeah, I mean, it works. You can get creative with it, you guys. It doesn't have to be like super over the top, right? So just make sure that when you're doing this, that you're thinking about, are there faces in there? Is it stock photos? Is it clearly stock photos, or is there a way to be able to get creative on that? The other thing is not only that, but you're going to be doing multiple, or you should be doing multiple images leading back to the same service or product, right? There is a way to do this spammy, and there is a way to do this strategically. So be careful and know the rules. But I want to tell you guys that when you're doing this, you can have the trophy image, you can have the stock photo of the kids fighting, and then you can also have the image of a kid throwing a toy across the room. And those are going to be 3 different images that are going to lead back to the same thing, right? Good. I'm so glad this is helpful, you guys. I'm so glad this is helpful. What about a mannequin? No head, but what if I take a picture of jewelry on a mannequin? I would test it. I don't have an answer for you like specifically because I don't use mannequins. I would test it. I think that you can get away with doing that. I think for you, Patty, just knowing, yes, please no spammy, right? I think the way to know for sure is to test it for you. I would say that I would prefer to do, like, if you're going to do that, a mannequin, a flat lay, and then maybe the product images, right? Because those would be 3 different types of layouts to see and test. Goodness, y'all, can you hear me? I know, I disappeared for a second. Am I back? Are we good? Thumbs up? Yes? No? Let me know, all right? So, I know, Casper the Ghost. Ah! Yes. So what I was saying, you guys, is Masterclass. I have, let me see. Welcome. Yes, I'm back. All right, perfect. Good. Sorry, you guys. I don't know what's going on today, if it's BeLive or if it's my internet or what. It's okay. But I have an upcoming masterclass. We dive into the 3 undeniable reasons why you have to be on Pinterest, and like how to be able to do these things without being spammy, right? How to be able to create 3 images that go back to the same link and post it multiple times without Pinterest saying you can't do that, right? So make sure that if that's a training or information that you want, that you follow this here below, so that I can get you more information on that upcoming masterclass. There were a couple questions before I bounced out. And so all on the same graphic? No, I would like you to create 3 separate graphics, Patty. Have one be the mannequin, one graphic be a flat lay, and one be the stock product photos that you get from your company, right? So that you can be a little bit different. Yes, awesome, thank you. Videos on Pinterest, yes or no? Okay, so this is a great question. Yes, be creative with this. We actually do talk about this a lot in my boot camp, my masterclass, and like in my inner circle, where we go over strategic ways to lead to videos, to use videos, and to increase the awareness with that on Pinterest, whether it's the shorter like snippets to give them more information to lead somewhere else, right? So, excuse me. So I, yes, am testing that. There has not been a huge leap in traffic when you upload videos statically. There are strategic ways to be able to lead to videos and use video marketing on Pinterest, but just taking a video that you have and uploading it directly to Pinterest, I have not seen benefits from as of yet, right? It's still a newer thing. A lot of people are still testing, but that's my 2 cents. I hope that helps you. So that's what I have for you guys here today in terms of how to creatively sell products on Pinterest. We talked a lot about using multiple images, making it easy for them to understand what you're offering, the text overlay that you guys should be having, different images and testing. One of the things that we didn't cover is the size and the placement of things. So the one thing I do want to cover before I head out for the day to go pick up my kids, yes, thank you. I'm so excited for you guys to be in here, and perfect. I'm glad that helped, Kelly. Oh yeah, I did. So catch the replay or the show notes. It will have it on there either. Oh my gosh, I would love to be able to help you create your first pin. I do also, if you guys want access to it, let me know, but I do have templates for you guys as well. So go ahead, let's do this. And let me know if you want that. I will get you a link. I'll send you a message and get you a link to those templates to help you make it easier and kind of do these things that we're talking about. The one thing that I do want to cover before we end today, and I have to go pick up my kiddos, is the size of the graphics. So there's been a lot of controversy and talking and strategy and like all the things about the length of the graphics. For sure, you've got it, Mari. Thank you. Yes, get away from the company graphics and do your own testing, because you'll see way more results instead of doing what they provide to you, especially if you're with a company that provides those images for you, for sure. The controversy right now is centered around the fact that Pinterest keeps saying like what size images they like and dislike. They do allow the square graphic size images just like Instagram. So they do allow you to be able to use those, and you can see traction from those. The ones that I have seen, and do test the size, please, right? Because it used to be a few years ago that you could make like a super, super long graphic. Like it was still 735, but it was like super long, like 2,000 pixels. So like it was like the long infographic, and those would do amazing because they would take up all the real estate on the news feed or the search feed, excuse me, for the search engine based platform, not a news feed, right? But it would take up a lot of real estate on the search feed. And so people would see those more, and you would get more traction with those. Pinterest started to not favor those anymore. Their favorite right now that they really do like is the 735 by at least 1100. And that size can be very helpful in terms of starting out. One of the things that I've noticed though is I want you to test different sizes because sometimes a little bit longer than that 1100, like 1400, 1500, tend to do better in terms of creating a multi-product image for capturing that attention. So also test that for me, you guys too, for your own business. Right now, I prefer the 735 by 1100. That's what I seem to get the most click-throughs on. Sometimes we'll do a little bit longer, sometimes not, but that is another thing. It's typically, if you're just starting out, I would say 735 by 1100 so that you can have that graphic size that gives that click-worthy image for you on the platform. So, all right, you guys, thank you so much for dealing with the slight tech issues that I had today and hanging out with me. I'm so super blessed to have you guys here. If you have any further questions, feel free to continue typing them in the comments. I do always come back to help you. If you are catching the replay and you want more help one-on-one, feel free to send me a message, and I would love to help you guys out. All right, you guys, have a wonderful day.